we didn't expect any of this.
That got under his skin, and he just started solo attacking all over.
And he decided to break the rules and zero at least 50 castles on air quotes accident.
This server's toast. You wanna come back and burn ATR? And I was like, hell yes.
All I knew is that I was warned to put bubble up.
ATR zeroed an entire NAP alliance.
This is the story of 550 as told by the players of 550. This is our first Kingshot Drama episode. This is episode 1, so welcome in. Thank you for stopping by and checking out the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Join our Discord if you haven't already.
It's chaos. They're there. They're trying to build these, banners, and it's a banner war, and it was chaotic. And I kept saying, "What is going on here? What did I miss?" And then I got filled in by these two. These two could tell you more about how he just came down.
To answer that question between Castle and when you were recording, it was just Die and One. So One is the other third alliance that was originally burned. So we were all just building banners to shore up TDO because we knew TDO would be next. So we were using Die and One banners to try and protect them.
What's the relationship like between Die and TDO, or how did that start?
It started, right when they joined 550. One was the original recruiters of TDO, so those two were close. And then Die and TDO started having battles for fun on outposts and banners and just very similar alliances. So we kind of had the same manner of playing, enjoyed fun battles.
We played against TDO in a castle battle, and that's where the initial contact happened, because that was a
like a KVK castle battle.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. The R4s were talking, and that would be these guys are telling you about what went on with that, because I just knew that we had made a good relationship with Die and One.
So the Baba transferred in at the same time as TDO. So when TDO came, the Baba came too.
And there's drama about that as well.
Yeah, there is a big drama about the Baba.
Okay.
So
about
one of the
Baba.
Do you want me to go into that?
Sure. Let's hear about how La Baba and Vrillix became partners in crime.
So basically, the Baba was supposed to be a special invite to iOS. So one of the iOS R4s claimed that she and the Baba, the Baba's account was originally named Smog. So this iOS R4 was saying, yeah, Smog and I are great friends. He's going to be really good to help iOS become stronger. Because, as I said earlier, iOS only has that one whale. So we were like, this is going to be really good for iOS's growth to get another big whale in. 3 days later, Smog joins ATR and becomes R5.
Became R5?
He became R5 there. He replaced them. He replaced everyone in Napchat, and he was the R5 there for a while. And then he changed his name to the Baba. And the Baba was originally a player who transferred in the first transfer event that 550 had when I came in. And that account is now named Apollo SWE. Apollo is another player in ATR who took over the Baba's original account, and the Baba took over the Smog account.
Interesting.
So
okay.
It sounds like a set, we'll never ever get confirmation, but it sounds like ATR bought that account, lied about it being friends with Chase, brought it over under iOS's special invite, and just had it come into ATR.
Yep.
Wow. Everyone always in KVK prep, people plan out when buffs are going to be used, right?
Yep.
That's pretty standard. And essentially, this buff was only used to benefit one player rather than benefiting the kingdom as a whole, and then the kingdom cumulative dollar amount that was wasted was massive just because of one player.
It was a selfish move. It was a selfish move on his part. He was just thinking about himself and none of these players.
Yeah.
Yeah, he literally said in our KVK battle chat, I needed to finish this research, so I activated it. He said that word for word. And then there was a huge outcry about it. Look away. 10 minutes later, I see Verlix's city ported right next to me. and he's hitting a bunch of 535 castles in the red zone, which completely this was a rules KVK, so no hits during the red zone. And apparently, someone had made an insult to him in world chat, and he decided to break the rules and zero about 50 to at least 50 535 castles and hit a couple of die castles on air quotes accident as well. So he chose to break the KVK rules. And going back to like what I said about how it's Black Ted playing that account sometimes it's Apollo playing that account. You never know who you're talking to. So like literally like you have a 3-hour discussion with them in a chat, and then you finally get somewhere and they're like, okay, yeah, like this sounds good. Comes back tomorrow, open my phone, and there's another message saying, no, let's not do this, let's do this instead. So when you have like 10 people playing the same account, it's just very difficult to have an actual conversation with them.
So, from your personal perspective, what is the most frustrating part of all of this?
They think that if ATR grows powerful, that is enough for the server instead of, making the server powerful.
Yeah, I would agree. They're so overconfident in ATR's abilities that they don't care about the rest of the server. I can
Yeah.
give another example of this. So, historically, our KVK plan has been that Verlix goes into our shell 550, holds castle, and then Die will remove inactive members and have everyone else join us. And we will counter rally, and 550 will hold with Verlix. And we thought that was going to be the plan for this time, except we would have TDO joining Die this time. They kept changing the plan at least 20 times. Verlix told us that he will go into ATR, hold castle in ATR, and then the Baba will counter rally from iOS. And then we can just do whatever we want because we are not needed. That is, again, a word for word statement he made.
What has been the most frustrating part about all of this?
The lies. I mean, he's lied. He's said, "Oh, I like you guys," and then I think that from everything I've seen is like everybody's been trying to work with him, and he just turns around and he wants the power. It's just like a power struggle. He doesn't want anybody to be better than him, and it doesn't matter if anybody on the server is allowed to do anything. He wants everything. And so if you try to negotiate with him, he turns it around. What's going to benefit me? Only me. None of you guys, just me.
He also sees negotiation of any sort as a weakness.
Weakness, yes, a weakness. That's the other thing. It is a weakness that he said. Well, that's weakness. It's like, yeah, that is the biggest drawback is when we poured it in, we didn't expect any of this. If I'd have known all this, we probably would have said, nope, you guys can have him. But we didn't know any of that. None of this was exposed. I mean, the way he was playing us by being nice to us. And then, when KVK, I should have known KVK, nobody was in the red zone. We all were outside the red zone. At midway of us doing cast battle, we were talking about transferring out. We were done with this because of the way it was going down badly with everything. It was like, we didn't ask for this, we didn't ask for this, we didn't ask for this. None of it was above board with all the R4s. I just kept sensing that there's something going on. I kept saying, ask them. They're like, no, we'll tell you later. Well, we'll tell you later. And I'm like, what's going on? And they just said, just keep bubbled. That's all I kept getting is keep bubbled. And when you hear some of your upper leaders saying, keep bubbled, something's going on, behind the scenes.
Yeah, you read my mind. I was about to ask, would you at this point consider leaving the server?
We already did.
We already have.
You already did.
All three of us are in a new server. Die and
Perfect.
TDO
Did you guys go together,
together.
or just you guys found your own servers?
Yep, together. So figure out you can see all the top 4 alliances, message everyone in all those alliances, and just talk to them.
Yep.
Because if there's trouble in the server, at least one of them is going to tell you something.
Yeah, and we've had from 538 we had people transferring to other maps, and they are coming back because of that same thing that we're talking about right now is the transfer. they said they wish they would have put something over there just to look at it for a while before they decided to, because somebody said, yeah, come on over, come on over. Well, yeah, that was a mistake. He says Verlix just went haywire. He just started burning things. So once at some point, I don't know what it was. It was like he'd been there for 3 hours, and they said, "Hey, I think he's stopping." And I said, "Why?" And all those ATR accounts started porting out of there, just poop, 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 all at once. They all ported out, and it was like only thing that was there were all the tents. And so I said, "Okay, I'm not going to burn any TDO tents or any of that. What do you want me to do?" So I started clearing off these tents.
That's one clarification on your video, Lost, is
Yeah.
you said that the little die HQ was there and they burnt it. We placed that little die HQ after everything happened, so that we could help protect TDO further.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that they weren't getting very far when they were attempting to burn things.
They didn't.
It was
They didn't permanently burn a single banner.
Yeah, I saw that they kept going after the same banner, and then you guys would rally it back, and it was almost futile.
Yep.
If it was me, I would have been rallying cities, but I guess it's not me.
Well, we sat there and watched it. It was just burn and then not burn and then burn and not burn. I was like, okay.
So Verlix's main target in the beginning was TDO, and they put up a fantastic defense. And so he switched targets to Dai's new HQ in that area, not playing to any strategy. And that's what, won us the battle. Like, this guy is so thin-skinned, he can't believe that we would, regroup and work together against him like this.
Do you think the server can recover from it?
Oh,
No.
Nope. Nobody wants to go there. It's like you said, it's on Reddit, it's on YouTube. Everybody's seen it. They don't want that drama.
I mean, if you just look at number of active players, before all of this happened, you had about maybe 60 to 70 in ATR, you had about 60 in DI, you had about 40 in TDO, and then iOS has repeatedly said they only have like 30 active members, and then you have one with like maybe like another 40 or 50. So you're looking at like 300 to 400 active members, right? And then after this transfer window, has about players and about are active, has about players about active. All the players will be transferring to where we are now in about 6 weeks. So you basically only have ATR and iOS. iOS didn't get a single transfer, so they still just have their 30 players. And then ATR got a couple transfers, so maybe they have about, I don't know, 80 players. So you just went from about 350 to 400 active players to about 150, and 50 of those will be transferring out.
Yep.
So they basically cut the number of active players in 550 by a quarter. So
and
the server just can't.
Castle timing is bad for Turkish players. So there's also that.
So apparently, I had to log off that night, but basically what I heard was Verlix and the Baba went to sleep. But they left their cities by TDO. But then all of those accounts started rallying and hitting them like over and over and over. So they kept getting notifications on their phones. So then they ported back, so they stopped getting notifications.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yep, we just pushed them back and got them out of there. They were tired of it. We tried to break off and break through their lines, and they started burning those. So it was kind of like, this is after the fact. We already knew we were already porting out of there, and the server was just lost because it was between all the R5s and R4s that, yeah, guys, this is lost. Move on. Find a spot because you're not going to have fun here.
What occurred or what happened this past week?
A week and a half ago, one of the bigger whales on the server quit the game following our KVK win. And before he quit, he decided to go let out some steam and burned an alliance called ATR, which houses the two biggest whales of the 550 server. In retaliation, ATR ported their entire alliance down to the borders of the alliance called One, which this previous whale named Terror had quit about a week before all of this happened. And they zeroed the entire alliance. In retaliation after this, Dai and TDO combined forces and burned ATR the day before Castle. After this, immediately after this, ATR burned all of Dai's HQ and banners. And then we had an all-out Castle war, which ATR was the victors of. The next day, Dai rebuilt our HQ on the borders of TDO to protect from further attacks. This prompted ATR and another alliance called iOS to combine into a shell alliance that iOS had been maintaining that was called IOA. They built an HQ on the borders of TDO and started a banners and HQ war against the new Dai HQ, the TDO banners, and the IOA HQ. There were city hits during this, banner hits, city hits, HQ hits, everything, and then the transfer event opened right after that.
You mentioned during Castle it was basically an all-out Castle war. Were there city hits going on during Castle?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
City hits,
Oh,
city rallies, everything. It was a fully all out.
Okay, who struck first during Castle?
He did. He got center first, and then we had to try to take it back.
Yeah. So the Baba, who is the second best whale, took Castle immediately, while Verlix ported into the Dai area and started hitting Dai members in the Castle red zone.
iOS was not city.
Do you think that there was any side that is just clearly in the wrong on all points here?
I mean,
We're all going to say it.
I don't see.
Well,
See, the one clarification I will make, instead of just saying ATR is entirely in the wrong, I will say that all of these events that led up to this was ATR's mostly their fault. But I mean, them burning Dai's HQ, can't really blame them for that because we did burn them, like zero them the entire night before. So
yeah,
like you can't say that after we burned them on Friday, like you can't really blame anyone because it was just all out war.
after Nap died, which that was when ATR did not receive any sort of discipline after burning a Nap alliance. That's when it was over. Like at that
Yeah.
point, it's whatever. It's free for all. The server's dead because you can't.
After that point, anything, nothing was done was wrong because everything, there was no
Yeah.
right at that point.
You can never trust them again after that point.
Yep. Because once you've dropped in that nap, I mean, all gloves are off. It's a free for all. Nobody trusts anybody.
Now, I guess in closing here, we've been doing this for I think almost an hour. Is there anything that you want people outside of this server to understand?
Don't come here.
Unless you like pain and like being burned every day.
Yeah, don't go there.
Yeah, it's just a point of power struggle. The guy just does not want to. He doesn't want to work with anybody, and I wouldn't recommend that kind of negativity on a person that would want to play this game. You wouldn't want to play it where you're every day wanting to know if you're going to be burned, and it's a power struggle just to get to 30, and you know it's just that kind of a.
I will say one thing. We mostly dealt with ATR through Napchat. So a lot of that filters out all the nastiness and all the ridiculousness. So most of our alliance doesn't see the bigger picture of like, hey, we've been dealing with ATR for a while now. And then once communication completely broke down, once Verlix was in World Chat going crazy, people saw his real face for probably the first time in that server.
Verlix going crazy in World Chat actually helped us a lot because we had a lot of Dai members who were like, we don't really know what's going wrong, so we just might stay here. And we were like, no, like you should come with us. But they were like, why? And then Verlix answered that question for them when he was going crazy in World Chat.
Yep, definitely. You
So,
never know. You never know what these two guys
if-
are seeing.
If Verlix is listening to this, thank you for going crazy in World Chat and having most of our alliance follow us. Problem lost,
Headache.
YouTube. Thank you for all the extra likes and comments I'm gonna get on that video.
Well, Vice, KSA, and Sig, thank you for taking the time and clearing all of this up. Maybe we'll get someone from ATR and get their side of the story. Who knows? That would
sure.
be interesting.
I would love to. I would love to hear it.
I would definitely love to hear that one too.
We have a few comments on the past video, so I've invited them in to the Discord. If they want to join the Discord, they're more than welcome to, and we can hear their side because there is always two sides to a story. So kind of want to be fair to them as well.
for a lot of the stuff that I've said, I do have screenshots. So, and I was in Snapchat for almost the entire duration. So
Yep. So
That's an interesting thought that I didn't think of. Is do you think he would hunt you down?
he would.
well,
He would.
some of the Turkish players were in world chat saying, "You guys are really going to spend money to leave? It's going to be pointless because we'll just transfer with you and hunt you down."
Well, thank you guys for coming in and giving your side of the story. I'm sure 550 appreciates it, and those that are looking in as well.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
This
thanks
was
for having
fun.
us.
Thank you.
I want to give a special shout out to Sig, KSA, and DJ Vice for reaching out, explaining what was going on with the backstory of 550. Thank you for checking out Kingshot Drama Episode 1, The Burning of 550. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe and comment below. If you have your own personal kingdom drama, I'd love to hear about it. Join our Discord. You can DM me in game or in Discord, and you can tell us all about it. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next episode.